Vi grabs Sevika and does the whole cliche trope of interrogating someone without any restraints or a meal. Sevika picks up and maybe it's the ad super she just received. But like bad homework, she copies exactly what Vi just did and starts yapping, which allows for her to start getting beamed by Kate. And I know Uncle Ruckus is somewhere watching this and laughing, talking about,
"Well, Tim, let this be yet another reminder that you still just a nigger."
let's freaking go. Now, after my previous video, I had to drop an Arcane one. And this might be the only time I ever say this, but if you haven't watched Arcane yet, then like, subscribe, click off my video, and then go watch it. Because this is one show I feel like everyone should just watch without any spoilers. Now, for this video, I want to prove that Arcane by far has the most entertaining fight scenes among anime, and it's not even close. But before the main course, let's get some warm-ups first. So the scene starts off with a gang, Vi, Powder, Milo, and Clagger, coming back from the heist of a lifetime. But then they get stopped by this corny Disney bully talking about, wow, look at the cat dragged in. And I'm sorry, but this 10-cent dialogue is lame as hell. So let me give you some context first. The city is divided into two parts, the rich and prosperous side known as Piltover, and on the other side you got a place filled with crime, poverty, and pollution. And for once, it's not Africa, but a place known as Zon. And so after spending a whole day eating nothing but African delicacy, the gang decided to go to Piltover and loot. And their loot was actually pretty good. But plans never keep up with change and they get caught up with the police, but luckily they escaped. Only to be met with this Disney bully with his corny ass lines. Which I gotta say, a show with weak dialogue aggravates me to no end. But you know what, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Cause he drops this line.
We don't want any trouble, okay? No, in my experience, trouble finds you.
Because of that, solely because of that, I gotta put some respect on his name, so I can't be calling him a Disney bully anymore. Instead, he's gonna be a Disney villain. But it is very heartbreaking old habit as he says, let me get a taste of that treasure. But that was really a poor choice of words because Vi walks up to him, giving him this look, and nah, I know she's 15 but I would have folded. But she asks him, just a taste? And before this man could even reply, he gets clocked in the face and they go at it. But the thing I want to highlight here the most is that this scene gives us so much details that it is magnificent. Cause not only does it set the tone for the rest of the series, but the mere fact that none of them are fighting with any fighting style and they're just raw dogging it puts forth their aggression for you to not only see it and feel it but to taste it as well. And also just love the subtle view into their personalities. Because for example, after Mr. Corny here catches Vi with a gut punch followed by an uppercut, he goes for another only to get his arm locked into a knee before getting thrown away like the filth he is. And to make sure that he stays down, Vi breaks his back like Baby Batman, and I'm like, yeah, I love the aggression, I just love it. But peep game, cause she grabs a wooden plank and knocks this man out. And as they were walking away after a job well done, this guy gets up and threatens them with a knife. And why didn't he bring it out while he was taking a beating? I don't know. But I tell you to look at this man's stance. What is this? He doesn't know this. He has never practiced this before. And I guarantee you that no one in reality or fiction has ever been caught lacking with this stance. And if someone has been caught lacking with this stance, maybe they kinda deserved it. But anyways, this man is just acting tough. And this is why Vi is a legend. Because she stares him down with blood dripping from her forehead, which prompts this man to hit that awkward run. And yes, these scenes did so little, yet showcased Vi's fierceness and leadership skills. I mean, she may not believe it, but it's the little things that count, man. And with the warm-ups done, it's time to throw some hands. And for some context, Vi and Powder's adoptive father, Vander, was kidnapped by Silco, who's by far a great antagonist, dropping lines like,
"It's a little crude, I'll admit. The base violence necessary for change."
Nice.
I'd like to let you in on a very important secret I learned when I was about your age, boy. You see, power, real power, doesn't come to those who were born strongest, or fastest, or smartest. No, it comes to those who will do anything to achieve it.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
And I swear the villain Taylor's video is coming soon. Vi and the gang find Vander's location, so they break into the place to save him, and seeing no guards there, they thought it was gonna be a cakewalk. But it was all a trap, set by the goat, Silco. He pulls up with his crew, slowly clapping his hands like a 90s villain, which is corny as hell. But since it's him, it just works. In a situation like this, a normal person would run away or be logical and just lock the door. But not Vi, cause she stands on business, challenging them all to an ISO. They square up, and this shot right here, man, it deserves to be hung on the loop and worshipped by getting its toe sucked, cause it is amazing. Silco gives the signal, and this man, let's call him victim number 1. Victim number 1 goes for a stare, but Vi parries it, and that's an ugly uppercut, giving this man more action than a Boeing airplane. While he's typing for the night, they get active. But I must slow it down so you can see his hands. Victim number 2 goes in only to get weaved, and from the look on her face, she knows for a fact that she's getting one tap.
Damn, he really about to rock my shit.
And Vi hits Control C and V, giving victim number 3 the exact same treatment. But this allows victim number 4 to get a hit and followed by a block. But since his name also starts with victim, he gets laid out. And this next part right here is quite annoying because the cameraman keeps panning back and forth to other things. But from the few shots that we get, we see victim number 5 getting slumped, Vi weaving a few attacks, and victim number 3 coming back for seconds. And look at this, by literally choking this 15-year-old just to get elbowed mid-attack. And while she's packaging up victim number 6, she weaves and picks up victim number 7. Victim number 8 comes in and wait, pause. What the fuck is he doing? Don't you stab people with your knife. His tongue gotta have chlamydia or blue waffles or AIDS or something. And you know he thinks he looks tough while doing this, but my guy, you're a victim. And just for that, I'm calling you freak number 1. Frustrated, Silco tells the cannon fodder to coordinate their attacks. While Vi is busy dodging a serious infection from this freak, victim number 7 comes in landing some attacks. And this is where they actually have my girl struggling. But after a small tug of war, she low-flips them. Silco and Sevika are busy watching from the sidelines when Silco stops her from catching a beating and takes out this vial with what looks like mutagen. And earlier they showed us him giving this to a rat, but instead of a peaceful rat prepared to raise 4 Renaissance turtles, it turned into a sissy rat and packed up a cat. So you know that this mutagen is either expired or from Timu. Disney villain takes it and he gets hit with that Hulk and Solomon Grundy animation and starts moving like an Elder Ring boss, even packing up that nameless nobody, who probably has a family, mind you. And I know he's looking at the kill cam right now, angry as hell, wondering why Friendly Fire was even left on. And like an Elden Ring boss, he does Vi dirty, cause Vi goes for the finisher, only to get hit with that no-look grab into a chokehold. And I know his empty head isn't thinking about philosophy, bro is not the thinker, so he's just feeling himself. And while Vi is busy struggling and regretting her actions, he hits her with that slow look turn before chucking her away like an abusive stepfather. Vi realizes that she's out of her league, so she does the logical thing and just dips out. And I don't know how, but she was able to crawl her way to safety and close the door before locking it. How she was able to do this before Solomon Grundy, who was right there, got to her, I don't know, and let's not focus on that. All I know is that with this, Vi's hands are certified. But this causes Team Hawk to start banging on the door. And now, let's unwind a bit, cause this next part right here has my feelings more mixed than logic. Cause on one hand, we see one of the biggest cells in all of anime, and yeah, it's as bad as Krillin and that damn remote. But on the other hand, we see, and for lack of a better word, peak fiction, peep game. After what seems like an eternity, Milo finally frees Vander, and Clagger also secures an escape route, while Silco is unaware of this and Solomon Grundy is just banging on the door. So it's perfectly reasonable to assume that these guys have done it. They've escaped. But Jinx, or rather Powder, who's been watching this whole time, doesn't know this, and turns out a goddamn nuke. Cause tell me why, ne? She puts all 3 magic crystals into that bot, cause she knows what just one can do. Like, is she dumb? She cranks it and the bot starts moving forward, clapping and making out like a stepchild looking for a beating. But just as it looks like it'll stop and nothing will happen, the first contact is made, and it does an explosion that's so powerful to not only send Solomon Grundy flying, but to also break the door and send fire all over the place. The last contact happens, and it commits friendly fire on Milo and Clagger, packaging and burying these boys. And this part right here had me weak. The next contact happens, and it is so destructive that it can be seen from miles away. And I gotta say, me saying it like this doesn't do justice, but it is definitely peak. The cameraman pans and we see Powder just cheesing, and this actively pisses me off. But let's get back to throwing hands. Vander and Vi survive thanks to the door, but so too did Timo Hawk and a few others. How? I don't know. Silco tells them to pack them up already, cause this ain't Disney. And they move forward, and the first guy goes in, only for him to get packaged and sent out immediately. Vander comes out the room looking fresh as hell.
Pause.
Victim number 11 goes for the kick only to get sidelined easily. The Disney villain, scared, pathetic, goes for the right only to get his arm locked before eating a dozen body shots.
Oh, this pain different.
And yeah, I love to see it. That mutagen is useless if he ain't got no skills. But Unc Vander gets winded, and this allows Bootleg Hawk to hit his shoulders before pulling him in for a headbutt. And after picking him up and slamming him to the ground, Vander seems to be losing. But remember now, he raised Vi, who has heart, and she definitely learnt it from him. So he gets back up, ready for round 2, only to quite literally get stabbed in the back by Silco. And you can hate him or love him. I love him, by the way. But this man knows how to be sneaky with it. But Vander turns around trying to choke Silco. But what in the Captain America is wrong with these niggas? They kinky as hell. But Silco stabs Vander again, and well, it becomes a fight of endurance. And the question becomes, will Silco run out of air first, or will Vander lose enough blood to get taken out? And well, Vander loses. And Silco tells him to stand proud before casting him aside. Vanda falls into this homemade mutagen, which is called Trimmer, by the way. And just like comic book people when they fall into vats of acid, Vanda is able to shrug off the fall damage. And he appears suddenly grabbing Timo Hawk and pinning him onto the wall, showing this man who was actually made in the Green Lord's image. Silco watches Vanda slapping his neck and he's like, nah, he's tweaking. And he dips out. But the place is about to blow, so Vanda grabs Vi and they dip out. But well, fall damage wants it round 2 and Gravity doesn't have any friends. And using his last breath, he tells Vi to protect Powder before getting packed. And sadly, there's no revive summoning spell, and this isn't arena mode. So the screen just turns black, Vi cries out, and man, these scenes be having me in an emotional chokehold, cause god damn this is good. And speaking of Powder, she pulls up celebrating, boasting about her KD, talking about how she got 3 kills and 11 assists, and some gold. But Vi lashes out at her, and we see those contrasts I was telling you about. And although I'm angry at Powder for selling my parlay, and yes, I had my money on Vanda, but without that, we wouldn't have gotten this scene right here.
It's okay. We'll show them. We will show them all.
I can hear the sound.
And whomever's decision it was to put the music right here deserves not only a raise, but to get his dick sucked. Now, after a reasonable time skip, we see Vi in prison after being wrongfully arrested. And I know that she's been falsely charged, but the way she was out here training by punching the wall had me thinking like, you know what, maybe she did it. And now I am very curious as to what is in that chump bucket for that it's making her lose brain cells and making her think that this is a good idea. Cause is she planning to spin back on Thanos? Nah. I can't believe that prison turned this cute 15-year-old into a possible crash out. But due to some reason I'll put on the screen, Caitlyn breaks out of prison and we get this beautiful scene. And yeah, this is that good stuff that you get addicted to. It is good. The first thing Vi does after coming out of prison is she goes to eat some food, and I can't really blame her. But she was out here talking about, I like when my food fights back. And I was like, what the fuck? And even Caitlyn had to give her that what the fuck look. She does some investigation and learns how they basically stole all her stuff, and she gets absolutely heated. So to get to Silco, she aims for his number 2, Sevika. But again, the dude who chose the music here, my guy, you are a genius, and you deserve a blowjob. And if it's a woman, let me suck her dick. Vi finds Sevika having a smoke and gets even more heated. And again, the shots in music are elite placements. And now, I'm gonna need y'all to lock in, sit up straight, and strap into your underwear, cause hands are about to be thrown. Just as Sevika is sat there enjoying herself, she gets kneed in the face. And yeah, no introduction or dialogue or straight aggression, I approve. And while Sevika is discombobulated, straight confused, I'm talking losing brain cells, Vi lands her right before pulling her hair and pinning her into the wall. Got me rubbing my hands and thinking that she's trying to give him a taste of what a real man is. But Vi gets punched and then kicked away, and she gets up confused as me, only for Sevika to reveal her metal arm that's powered by Shimmer. And do you all remember that first explosion Powder made? Not only did it do all that damage, but the blast was powerful enough to blow up Sevika's arm, which really makes me question how Solomon Grundy was able to survive that. But remember now, Vi has heart and they square up again. She swings only to get blocked twice, and before I could even process that, she gets both of her arms locked, which actually has me questioning if she threw out the infamous double fists. Sevika pulls her in for a kiss but instead headbutts her twice before landing a gut punch. And I know Vi felt the emptiness of Sevika's head, but she decides to lock in, and because of that I might have to slow it down again. Vi dodges while landing a gut punch followed by a right hook, and for some reason Sevika lets this weak ass jab, and as if to taunt her, Vi responds alike. Sevika tries getting back only to get weak into an uppercut, and this is where Vi started showing off her boxing skills, cause she lands 2 body shots followed by a right, leaving Sevika dazed, and Vi even took the time to appreciate her artwork before delivering a nasty Superman punch. And yeah, these are hands, nigga. This is what I'm talking about. Sevika decides to use her mutagen, like she wasn't using it all this time. She grabs this barrel and punches it at Vi, and Vi tries to tip her only to get tackled into the wall. Sevika picks her up and starts showing her all the nice walls and floors before pinning her into the wall. And this next part really has me confused, cause Vi kicks her in the pussy, and my dumbass is head here wondering if that actually hurts or not. I mean, I know the skin, but anyways. Because of that, Vi breaks free and starts punishing Sevika before chucking her away. And between these two, we have deduced that Vi's hands are certified and Sevika's a thick head. Let's go up again, and Sevika makes a grave blunder cause she gets baited into this tight passageway, making this matter go from who will win to when will Vi win. Cause the first thing Vi does after bringing her to this passageway is weaving her attack into this brain cell killing uppercut, and to make sure that Sevika's IQ is equal to Mayweather's, Vi knocks her into a wall, and her skull sounded so nice that Vi gave her seconds. And well, Sevika started taking a beating, getting hit with shoe shines and everything, and it was like Vi just wanted to try out all the moves in her skill menu. And after that, she leaves Sevika away. And now, after losing an eyesore where you had your best loadouts and attachments, your best bet is to migrate to a new location and start a new life. or at this moment, just lay down, but Sevika's empty head makes her second mistake, and she gets up, only to get double kicked through the wall. And pause for a sec, let's rewind. Just look at Vi's running form. Anyone who's prepared to hit the 100-meter dash in a closed space is definitely a crash out. And now, please don't my girl into a crash. Vi grabs Sevika and does the whole cliche trope of interrogating someone without any restraints or a meal. And unsurprisingly, she gets stabbed by Sevika, and well, that's typical. But you expect her to just sing? Sevika picks up and maybe it's the ass whooping she just received. But like bad homework, she copies exactly what Vi just did and starts yapping, which allows for her to start getting beamed by Kate. And I know Uncle Ruckus is somewhere watching this and laughing, talking about,
Well, Tim, let this be yet another reminder that you still just a nigger.
but for whatever reason, Caitlyn, instead of shooting her anywhere else, just aims for a metallic arm, which allows Sevika to escape. And this has me thinking, why they all sharing the same brain cell? What the fuck is going on? Sevika escapes and tells Silco, and I just find his reaction very funny.
She's back.
From the dead.
But anyways, let's unwind for a bit. Because this masterpiece of a series has so many interesting fights that I could make independent videos on each and every one of them. And they are all just raw thrilling action that takes you over the edge of your seat and still leave you in suspense. And they have everything, because they even had Echo giving Jinx that Chris Breezy special. My guy was talking about equal rights, equal lefts. But there's one more fight I want to commentate on, and it's the rematch between these two. And all you need to know is that they both had their respective upgrades. Vi got some nice Atlas gauntlets, while Sevika got some new upgrades and even read a book. So they are on a whole new level, and it's about to go down. So the scene starts off with Sevika just chilling at the bar and playing cards. And we see Mr. Freak, all grown up, but sadly so too are his making ways. He's busy playing around until he selects a song. And as soon as this banger came on, I knew I had to lock in. But I just love this scene right here. Like, it's some funny stuff. And in his defense, he was probably focused on the other eye. But Vi's pull-up really gave me flashbacks to Tai Lung's. But what gives Vi more aura isn't the fact that she's standing in a room filled with her enemies. It's this little thing right here where she throws this head. And nah, she's definitely goated for this.
Everyone, out.
And hate her or love her, man, you gotta put some respect on Sevika's name for not jumping her. And I know the JJK fans are confused as hell seeing someone not get jumped. But try to understand that despite the risk of losing a second time, not only is this personal for her, but Sevika is just doing this for the love of the game. And I'm all here for this. They stay each other down while powering up, and I want y'all to lock in. Cause Vi goes at her, slapping a chair away, only to get weak. And it seems like Sevika is actually evolving. But before she can beat the damn accusations, she gets caught and sent flying before crashing into a bar. They go at it, both of them going hit for hit, evenly trading blows. And we get a few shots from the outside, just like that 1 GTA camera mode, showing us just how aggressive they're going at it. When the cameraman finally goes back inside, we see Sevika sat down, and I'm betting that it wasn't voluntary, because Vi is casually having herself a drink, and she starts squeaking. And this causes her to casually pick up a table before punching at Sevika, before running at her. And yeah, I love the aggression, I love the spirit. I encourage this type of behavior. But before Vi can finish the job, she dodges death, because Sevika pulls out that goddamn lightsaber, and Vi was actually having visions of the pearly gates. And I just love how she moves out the way here. Got me really interested in boxing. Sevika comes out swinging, and this sends out slashes everywhere. And then she was like,
you know what? Here go 2 more for y'all.
And I hate button matches as much as the next person, because it's like, learn a skill, my guy. And because of that, Sevika is able to land a slash on Vi's gauntlet and gets the advantage, landing hits and surprisingly dodging one. She stabs Vi's gauntlet and she starts beating on her, all the while cheesing. Like what I tell you, she's just doing this for the love of the game. And then she was like, remember that knee that you gave me? You can have it back, which sends Vi stumbling on the floor. And in a 1v1 like this where both parties are just going at it and giving it their all, I like staying neutral. So Vi ain't getting no sympathy from me, and she needs to lock in if she wants to win. And just as she's laying there, tired, exhausted even, the ghost or spirits of Vanda pulls up on her and hits her with some inspirational stuff.
Wish I could say it gets easier, kiddo, but I'd be lying. What I can say is, she still needs you. They all do. So what do you say?
And this right here gets up and ready to go. And again, This shot right here not only deserves to be hung on the Louvre and everyone's homes, but it needs to be studied. They go at it, clashing in the middle, and the fights were so goddamn good that it created shockwaves of epicness, changing the animation. All the power just went out, in which case I blame Escom. But I choose to believe that it is the aura they have. They go at it in the dark, trading blows, and I just love the fact that the only light source that they have is from their weapons. And it makes this fight that much more unique. I mean, who does it like this? And again, whomever's idea this was not only deserves a raise and a blowjob, but I volunteer.
Pause.
Sevika jumps off the table preparing to end it all, but pause for a sec. Now, for the most part, this show is grounded in realism. For the most part. And there's barely any scenes where it could be said that the writing is contrived, and I will defend this to the grave. But this next part right here annoys me, and I don't care if it's logical or within Jace's actions to do so, but the outcome could have been the same without this. That's just my rent. Sevika leaps off the table trying to finish it, and Vi was just sat there, having flashes of the pearly gates, only for Sevika to be met with a force field, and let's call it plot armor. The plot armor has her like a fly for a sec, before chucking her in the air, and Vi was like, that arm of yours, you don't need it, right? Before ripping it and greasing her with a gut punch, grabbing her like this and chucking her into some chairs, and finally crashing her into the vinyl record. And just like that, she's laid out. And after taking 2 ass whoopings from the same person, back to back, you know that you're the problem. Vi expresses her winner's privilege and asserts her dominance. But she's got that mama mentality because the job's not finished. There's still Silco. And as she bends down to pick something up, Jinx pulls up behind her and clocks her. And I've tried as hard as I possibly could to avoid speaking about Jinx, because if not, this video would be like 8 hours long. Granted, there's more I want to talk about regarding this series, since it's my favorite. I mean, from the writing, the character palette, and the animation, it's all top tier. But the Lord knows that that's the 24-hour-long video, and I'll hold off on that. And if you watch this far, consider subbing and doing all the extra stuff, because it really helps. And that's all, folks. Does someone have to say that? Legally?
Say that? Legally?
You'll get people killed. And for what? Pride?
For respect. We shared a vision, Vander. A dream of freedom. Not just for the lanes, but the whole of the underground, united as one. The nation of Zorn.
I'm just not that man anymore.
Free trade routes, blanket amnesty, unrestricted access to the Hexgate sovereignty. You really think you're in a position to demand all this?
You want peace, this is the price.
You'll discontinue the production of Shimmer.
Half there already.
Return the gemstone. And I need Jinx. She has to pay for what she's done. Get me Jinx, and I'll give you your nation of Zorn.
1,000 times I've imagined this moment. Never like this. All we ever wanted. The boy didn't even haggle. And what do I lose but problems? Oh, it all makes sense now, brother. Is there anything so undaring as a daughter? The topsiders offered me everything. Independence, a seat at the table. All in return for you. They can all burn. Everyone betrays us, Jinx. Vander. Her. They will never understand. It's only us. You're my daughter. I'll never forsake you. I never would have given you to them. Not for anything. Don't cry.